Tonight, we open our series on post-9/11 veterans in America, front lines of the home front. Following the 9/11 terrorist attacks, first responders from all over the nation came to the aid of those in need, and now thousands of them are suffering and even dying from a range of illnesses. More will certainly be diagnosed with these illnesses in the coming years and indeed in the coming decades. But even so, some new admissions are being challenged in spite of strong objections. Among those objecting is Army veteran and 9/11 first responder John Feal, whose foot was crushed at Ground Zero. He has been battling lawmakers who oppose the James Zadroga Act, both in 2010 and in its renewal in 2015. And his fight is not over. He is heading to Washington yet again. And he has some star power behind him yet again. Comedy icon Jon Stewart has been supporting Mr. Feal's fight with lawmakers for years, even going with him to the nation's capital. And Jon Stewart joins John Feal today to discuss their efforts and their goals. So, gentlemen, welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Let me talk about what's going on right now, right? Because, as we know, 2010, the Zadroga Act gets passed, 2015, it gets re-upped. And I suspect if you ask folks out on the street about this, they think, oh, no, it's all done. It's in place, and everybody's being taken care of.
Not the case.
All right. Why is that not the case? What is the real struggle now?
In 2010, when we got the bill passed the first time, cancer wasn't even added to the bill.
Right.
Then
They hadn't yet done the proof. The benefit of the doubt was never given to the first responder community.
They had to prove. You had to prove, right?
25 years
initially.
old, 26 years old, with nasal cancers, with really unusual cancers, really unusual respiratory illnesses, strange clusters of things that you just don't see in people, sarcoidosis of that age and that. And they were being made to prove to their government. Anybody who lived down there could tell you whatever air was being breathed down there was not safe. It was clear. It was the type of burn pits that you would only see in Iraq and Afghanistan. And these guys were on it for months at a time, 24 hours a day, no breathing apparatus because they were told that the air was safe. Well, now, here we are, it's 9 years later, they've been watching people in their community get sick and die from these bizarre illnesses, and no one will listen. It's very similar to what the Vietnam veterans faced when they came back, and it was the Agent Orange issue. So once again, when they weren't right on the front lines of the position to help us, they were ignored. And it was infuriating.
So what's the obstacle? You would think, again, we talked before about, politicians
the
wrapping themselves.
Politics and ignorance and uneducated leaders.
And a lack of empathy.
And a lack of empathy. Again, in 2010, when we got the bill passed, we got 5 years on the healthcare in the conversation.
Right.
When we got it renewed, we got 75 years of healthcare.
Right, 75 years.
Everybody was jumping up and down saying, oh my God, we got 75 years of healthcare free. I said, no, we got 75 years to get it right. But we also only got 5 years on the compensation. That expires in 2020.
Right.
We're not going to wait till 2020. That fight's going to start in the next few months. We're running out of money, and we're running out of time. There's a deadline for those who are sick. So we implore everybody to get into the World Trade Center Health Program and file a victim's compensation claim. Even if you're not sick, you can get into the program and get free health care, get a physical every year, because God forbid you do, and they close these programs down, those who are already in the program will be grandfathered
And these folks need to know that. They get themselves into the system, into the program.
We now have over 10,000 people with a certified 9/11 cancer, so says the federal government. These numbers are growing. There's now close to 100,000 people in the World Trade Center Health Program across the country. More than 40% of them are being treated for more than one illness. This is not a New York issue. This is a national issue, and this is a lifelong generational epidemic until the very last person dies from a 9/11 illness.
So how does this get done? You look to how long it took to get this act passed, right? 2010 finally gets through,
right.
Re-up 2015, but it was a battle. As you said, you're working the halls.
But it was different. So in 2010, John and Feelgood and other groups were down in the halls just trying to convince congressional leadership and congressmen and senators that this was a real issue, that this was a real problem. The science of it had not yet. Thank God for the FDNY, because they had health records of people beforehand.
They had a baseline
so
to work
with
off
that
of.
baseline, you could make the proof. So in 2010, they were just fighting to prove that there was a connection and that they weren't crazy, that they weren't being gaslit by that. Okay, so they finally get that done. In 2015, they had to prove that it wasn't just a New York issue or that it was just over now and everything was fine.
It was also a litmus test that they gave us in 2010.
That's right.
So,
to prove that it worked.
To prove that the program worked. They gave us
Right.
5 years to prove that there was no abuse of fraud, no abuse
and
of
that's been
spending.
proved.
And we proved them wrong on both
Program works.
sides.
Right.
There's no fraud. The World Trade Center Health Program is not spending money frivolously. And every time they've asked us something, we proved them. And listen, we're going to get this bill passed again.
Do we, look, the environment has changed dramatically in the last couple of years. It was hard in 2010 to get it done. It was hard in 2015.
In 2015, it was more of a political football. They
kept moving the goal line.
They kept moving the goal line on everybody, and then they were using it for their own purposes so that they would say, the money would be there, but it's fungible, so they could take it from the transportation bill.
Where's it coming
so what
from?
they would do is they would say, okay, if we're going to give you the health care and the compensation and the Zadroga, you have to give us a change in import-export taxes.
I think
you're looking at that saying, what does that have to do with this? But it's Congress.
I think I knew where you were going with your question, and the answer is we don't care who controls the White House, the Senate, or the Congress.
Right.
We're going there to get a bill passed for tens of thousands of people, and whoever gets in our way, we're going to steamroll them.
Are you worried? And I'm sure you are, but let's talk about why. It's a different climate, and I'm talking about both sides of the aisle. All right, I'm an independent. I'm looking at it from both sides of the aisle. It is, the notion of compromise is obsolete nowadays, and we have and it's probably the apt metaphor to use. We have a toxic environment down there too. So are you confident that you can get
100%.
both sides together and say, all right, we'll walk away from our toxic environment. Let's deal with the toxic environment and the consequences from 9/11.
9/11 was unprecedented. 9/11 challenged your humanity after that horrific Tuesday morning. Didn't care if you were black or white or Muslim or Jewish or Catholic or Republican or Democrat. And when we go to D.C., it doesn't matter how toxic it is there. After 1,100 meetings, we have this down to a science. Whoever gets in our way and votes against us, so be it. But if they're going to obstruct getting in our way and do stuff that we don't find suitable for a member of Congress, we're going to make their life miserable. Don't underestimate the power that we yield, because the American people, they're behind us, and we have a lot of influence. We put 400,000 signatures together on 2015. We have 400,000 more after that now. And I'll bring 1 million people on petitions to D.C. with my hardcore ass-kicking 9/11 responders who continue to walk the halls of Congress with me, and our Mariano Rivera, who will close it for us. And I'll bet my one kidney that we get this bill renewed.
Last question then for you, John. Again, similar to what I asked John. It's a different environment. Time has passed. Have people lost the sense of empathy for the people that we need to step up and do things for? Do you think there's a political will down there? There's certainly the will here, but we need the political will coming out of Washington to get this done. Do you think it's there?
I think political will is less the issue now, because it was, when they first had to get this done, the entire program had to be formatted. The legislation had to be written. The conditions that would be associated with 9/11 had to be identified and had to be proven. All of those things. Then the program had to come through, whether it was the Zadroga healthcare provisions or the Victims' Compensation Fund. The bureaucracies had to be established and streamlined to create an efficient program so that victims could find their way through the system and get themselves into the program and then serviced by the program. So all that has been done. The infrastructure is laid. This is not a compromise situation anymore. It's just a question of, what do you value? Do you value the lives? When we're in trouble and we call upon first responders and we call upon veterans and we call upon volunteers and we call upon the trade unions, we expect that they'll be there, because we understand that there's a certain mindset that some individuals have, that when something goes down, they don't run away from it, they run towards it. And we count on that as a society to sustain our sense of security and balance. But in turn, we owe them, not just when we need them, but when they need us. And if we continue to treat first responder communities and veteran communities in the manner that we do, which is we wrap ourselves in the flag and we make all kinds of symbolic gestures towards patriotism, and we say all the right things and we stand when we're supposed to and we salute when we're supposed to, But the truth is, real patriotism, real love of country, real compassion comes from the actions that you take when those individuals then need us. You cannot discard them in this way. And you can't say, we have $1.5 trillion for tax cuts, we have $15 billion for this, and say that we don't have the money to take care of individuals who are suffering because of their heroism and their dedication to service and to community. And there's nothing more infuriating than going into a politician's office who's been tweeting out, never forget the heroes of 9/11, and won't look these guys in the eye. And it happens way more than you might imagine. This is what sustains my involvement and continues to give me the greatest admiration for it. You know, John is selling himself very humbly and short. Like, he made this his life's work. And if he hadn't, it wouldn't have gotten done. And, you know, you're talking about getting guys like Ray Pfeiffer, who was at stage 4 cancer. I mean, cancer had eaten away his leg to the point where they put a steel rod in, and then the cancer ate away the steel rod. And he's spending his last weeks on earth going door to door in Congress to help out his brothers and sisters. And you can't witness that and not think, I have to give what I can give.
Well, I close this, one of my favorite Churchill quotations, where he stood up and he said, never, ever, ever give up. And I think he'd be proud of you guys and what you're doing. So
Jimmy Valvano said that too.
Jimmy Valvano said the same thing. He said, never, ever, stood up at the ESPYs.
I'm a strong Abe Lincoln.
Really? You're going NC
Any nation that doesn't honor its heroes will not long endure.
Right, exactly. Well, he's making you Mariano Rivera. You know, he was a soccer guy. Have you seen him throw? You know,
it's not good.
I know. All right, gentlemen, again,
Thank you, sir.
A pleasure talking with you.
Thanks.
And best of luck to both of you.
Thank you.
Take care.